Now, Foul Pals, this right here, honey, has been determined to be a fungal infection to the serious offense, honey. I mean, it really just spreads through the orchid. This is an orchid that I purchased in Redlands as well. My Sogo Yenlin, honey, my Species Phalaenopsis. I purchased the wrong one trying to hurry up and shop and talk to all of my Foul Pals at the same time, and Mama was not paying attention, and at the time I wasn't even aware of what this was. Only until I went to my American Orchid Society meeting is when other Foul Pals told me, and this was from another orchid, that this is a fungal infection and that it actually has spores on the bottom of the leaf that will spread all over it, such as it has with this leaf. Now, she is in the making of a new leaf, so thank God for that, because I actually thought I had purchased a dud, because as you can see right here, that is a terminal spike that missed the middle of it just by one leaf. Welcome back to Orchids for Dummies. In today's video, Foul Pals, I will be giving you guys a step-by-step instructional video to show you how to save your sick Phalaenopsis orchid with rotting roots, okay? Even that black mold. But you have to stay tuned. Now, I have already prepared some of the things that we will need today to save our Phalaenopsis orchid with very sick roots. I have a toothbrush to get that black mold off of there, a couple of shears, and make sure, Foul Pals, to disinfect your shears by using alcohol before you cut into your Phalaenopsis orchid. That is going to prevent you from spreading different funguses and diseases. Okay? Now that we have done that, the next thing that we are going to do is pull the Phalaenopsis out so you guys can have a proper look at it, and I will tell you guys exactly why it is imperative that you change and help your sick Phalaenopsis orchid. Well, Foul Pals, this is my Phalaenopsis species, Sogo Yenlin. She is in spike. I know it is very rare that you will see a Phalaenopsis orchid in spike while she has no roots. Well, Foul Pals, I tend to foliar feed my sick orchids that aren't able to obtain all of the nutrients that it needs in its roots. The foliar feed that I use, honey, it is definitely something that makes my phals spike for me. Now, Phalaenopsis pen pals, as you can see, this Phalaenopsis has new root development. So, any event that I was to leave it like this and not pot it up, guess what will happen? Because of the acidity that you are now putting into your new pot, is going to throw your pH off altogether and just create a very toxic environment for your Phalaenopsis that will leave it like this. Now, Foul Pals, as you can see, those white little specks right there is actually going to be spores for mold. And that is because this dead matter right here, I took too long to do what I'm doing today. So anytime that you have a Phalaenopsis orchid that root system looks like this, you want to act very promptly, Foul Pals. So Foul Pal Vanessa, this is for you, darling. We do not want your Phalaenopsis to end up like this, so we are going to do everything that we need to do to save our orchids, okay? So the main thing you want to know is, well, what encourages the black mold? And that's going to be this matter down here that is no longer of use. Now, my Phalaenopsis, we are doing open heart surgery on her because she was just one leaf away from a terminal spike. And Phal Pals, if you've been watching my videos for some time now, I have always told you guys that anytime you see a Phalaenopsis orchid that is in spike, growing new roots, growing a new leaf, doing all of the things that it normally has seasonal changes to do all at the same time, that's going to be an indicator that the orchid is somehow sick or defective and probably trying to propagate itself. Okay, so these roots right here, okay, I'm going to cut back to the good part, okay? Now, if your Phalaenopsis did not have absolutely no good roots, I would be a lot more sensitive as far as cutting the roots off. But because this one has roots that will sustain itself, let's go ahead and get some of these very bad roots off. Like this right here, that's black. Anytime you have roots that are black, that is definitely the roots that you want to cut or remove. Now this is still some good, but this is mushy. And it's black, so yeah, we gotta cut all of that off. And when you cut it, just cut it right above the blackness. Can you see? Right above the blackness. Okay? And no, I'm not going to place cinnamon on my roots. Well, actually, Phal Pals, if you look inside of the root that I just cut, it's still some blackness right in there. So I want to cut it until I see some green. Right here, I want to cut it till I see green. Just as so. Let's do it with the other one. Just like that. This is an old flower stalk. Let's cut that off. I was doing water culture on this baby. I mean, she really had, this is one of my orchids that I received from Redlands. I heard you asked my Phal Pal Blanca to do an update on the orchids that she received from Redlands. And this is one of mine, Phal Pals, and this is how it was given to me. There's no way I could have grown a terminal spike since May. I want to be careful not to cut into the leaf because the leaf or the stem of the Phalaenopsis orchid is a very important organ for the Phalaenopsis. So we did pretty good, pretty good. I'm gonna have to get my tweezers. Because the string part is black, I'm gonna cut that off too. I don't want anything that can carry any mold into this new media because I'm not gonna do water culture on her. Well, should I? Should I do water culture? I don't know. But I was just gonna put her in some moss until these new roots come out. All of this is not good. Now these right here, typically those are, because it's this right here, when it's brown, those are the ones that you could just pull the string off of and it should be fine. But it's so much blackness right here, I'm gonna really have to get up in there. And Phal Pals, I apologize for the video being a little lengthy today, but this is the most crucial step in saving your Phalaenopsis orchid. I just want to let you guys know that I'm growing indoors. I am a beginner just like you, learning along the way with my Phal Pals to help assist me. And I am growing in a uncontrolled environment, which makes me very insightful to new beginners as myself, because Every time we open our door, I'm a living room grower. I grow all of my orchids in my living room. So each and every time that I open my door, the environment for my orchids change drastically. And so this right here is going to be something that occurs a lot for people that are growing indoors as well, that's not able to keep the humidity at a certain level, not able to keep toxins from going in and out of the room, things of that matter. I see a little blackness right here. You know what, I'ma just, cause I mean she's in bloom, and as you can see, honey, I'd have cut most of her roots off, and that's because most of them was black. And she has new roots coming in, and the orchid that I just showed you that is deceased, it had new roots growing as well. But because I waited so long, by the time the new root got down to all of the nasty black mold, it touched it and said, oh no, no, no. And so it halted the growth, and eventually the orchid was not able to sustain itself, so it died. Okay, see, this got that blackness in it too. I don't want to cut everything off, but I have to. I always tell you guys, you don't want to build a new home with old bricks. Another important step that you guys did not see me do is this was converted over from temporary water culture, and what I did was I let it dry it out for a day, let it dry completely out, and then I would spray it with the hydrogen peroxide very, very good, and let it fizz up. And once it fizzes up, I let it dry overnight, and I did that a few times. So I'm hoping that I would not have so much to do today. This is my toothbrush, and I'm just barely brushing it, and all it's doing is just brushing the old dead matter away and helping the peroxide get into the places that is the blackest. All of this old sphagnum moss that is attached to the roots, that is also an indication that you need to keep it in moss and not do water culture on it. Okay, Fab Pals, thanks for staying tuned. So, I want to just pull this off right here. Now, if it gives you a very hard time coming off, that means it's not ready to come off. But if it comes out very easy like that, that's what we are trying to remove. Now, Fab Pals, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, honey. Please, honey, help mama out, please. Also, I have a playlist to help you guys with your sick, dehydrated, and rootless Phalaenopsis. And I do give updates all the time, but most people don't like to watch the updates because they can get lengthy, especially if you have so many orchids, like my Fab Pal Maria, who gave me this dear cup right here with Emma Kettner on it. Yes, honey, that is my baby. This root right here that's just dried up is very hard and it's good. I've seen other roots that would produce offshoot roots off of that, so I'm going to leave it be. This right here is dead, so let's pull off the velamen of the root. Also, it's a lot of blackness up in here. Sorry, you can't even see. But this is pretty much it, Fal Pals. I know you guys have probably seen my video on getting rid of black mold. That is pretty much what I'm doing right now. I'm just getting rid of the things that will help encourage mold. So once I get through spraying it with hydrogen peroxide this time, I shouldn't have to worry about mold anymore, because there's no decaying matter in the pot. I'm sorry, Fal Pals. But that is all. I'm going to stick this baby in a pot, and as you can see, she has a lot of growing to do, very limited amount of roots. So I'm going to put her in New Zealand sphagnum moss, and I will update you guys as soon as she gives me something to update you guys on. Well, Fal Pals, I thank you guys so much for staying tuned to another episode of Orchids for Dummies. Until next time.